What's good with you YouTube fam? You guys are now watching TheCaliEffect King of Games, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to play Vendread. Now I know you guys may have seen this video have been uploaded, I want to say on Monday, and I decided to take that video down because it did not necessarily provide enough information on how to play Vendread. This video, we're going to be providing more information. Basically, the Vendread archetype is based off of Spawn, the famous comic book series that isn't relying on either Marvel or DC, and it seems to be Resident Evil-like. I'm going to pick Resident Evil 4 because I just picked a random Resident Evil. I don't even know why. But on to the card effects. The most important card of the strategy is Revendread Slayer. And basically its effect is if it were to battle a monster, you can banish one zombie monster from your graveyard and it gains 300 attack. Now the reason why it's the most important effect is because it allows us to banish zombie monsters from our graveyard. And off the top of your head, there are quite a few zombie monsters that can gain their effects when banished. So that's the real reason why you would play this card over the other Vendread ritual monsters that don't exist. That too, because there's no other Vendread monsters that exist. Another great thing about its effect is if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one ritual spell card from your deck, and then if you do, you can send a Vendread monster from your deck to the graveyard. So it really does allow you to search any ritual spell card, which could further your strategies if you're playing different other rituals. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of great zombie rituals other than the Corridor. And that card's 70 bucks for no reason. The next card we're going to be talking about is Reorigin. This is the ritual spell card. It's probably the best card of the strategy so far, with Revendread Slayer being the card that you summon. So he kind of has to be coupled with that. And basically what it does is it allows you to ritual summon a Revendread monster, which is hinting that we'll have more Revendread ritual monsters. But more importantly, you can use zombie monsters from your graveyard. Again, this seems to be an underlying theme with the Vendread strategy, to be able to banish zombie monsters in your graveyard, so they seem to work extremely well with the Shiranui archetype, seeing that once the Shiranui monsters get banished, you'll gain additional effects. But more importantly, if your Vendread Slayer monster is to be destroyed, you can banish this card instead. So it does have a little bit of protection, as well as the being able to banish monsters from your graveyard. The most important thing, actually not even the most important thing, but another very interesting thing is that you can special summon your Revendread Slayer from the graveyard using this card. So basically all you have to have is the ritual spell card. If you're playing a deck that sends multiple cards from the graveyard, and you so happen to send, I don't know, 2 Shiranui monsters and a Revendread Slayer, and you draw the Origin, well, congratulations, you're going to get a free Origin and additional effects. I think that is the best thing that this deck has going for it right now. On to the other Revendread monsters. These guys, they're a little lacking. I thought that they were going to be really good, but after continuously reading their effect and actually realizing that these monsters have to be face up on the field when used as a ritual or as the ritual summon to gain the preceding effect, it isn't that great. But the better of the two is Vendread Hoardhound. Discard one Vendread card in your hand to special summon it from your graveyard. Now, the reason why it's the better one is because it can recurse itself, allowing you to use its on-field effect to gain the preceding effect to your Revendread Slayer. If you guys aren't following me, again, when this face-up card is used as a ritual summon, the ritual monster, which is a Vendread monster, will gain the effect of being able to banish a card or a spell or trap on your opponent's side of the field once per turn during either player's turn. It is a quick effect. So it's pretty good with that, and it's also a level 3. So if you're Unizombie, if you don't want to use Unizombie's effect, you can make a rank 3, you can Synchro 6. So it's not terrible. The one that I really have a broken heart over is Vendread Revenants. It's like too many R's and V's in this archetype. But Vendread Revenants is when it's destroyed by an opponent's card effect or battle, which already says that the card isn't good. It can special summon itself, will banish it when it reads the field. Its preceding effect is really good though. If it's face up on the field and is used for ritual summon of a Vendread monster, that monster can be able to banish a special summon monster once per turn during either player's turn. So it does have a really good preceding effect, but it's not that great of a card, and sometimes can be problematic. One can argue we have cards like Mizuki, Zombie Master, Book of Life to continuously special summon this card so we can use its on-field effect. But then again, if you guys are getting the theme, the Revendread Origin wants to banish zombie monsters in the graveyard, so we should be focusing on that for right now, at least until we get other Vendread cards. The last card is Vendread Reorigin. God, they need to stop. Now, this card is very interesting. It allows us to tribute our opponent's monsters, and then we get a token of the level of the monster we tributed. But the only unfortunate thing is that we can't normal summon or special summon other monsters other than Vendread monsters. And seeing that the monsters that we have are not great. And then the ritual monster, you know, that's not like, you know, that's not enough monsters to be summoned and to have a tribute monster on the field. Also, the token doesn't give us any benefit whatsoever to the archetype. It seems like this archetype is a little bit of everywhere, but the two things that we can really take for him is the field or the ritual spell and the ritual monster from this archetype. The next cards we're going to be talking about is cards that really work with the strategy. Since it is a ritual deck, pre-preparation of RItes has been ruled to work with the Vendread strategy. I have no idea why, because maybe I'd have to read it because I'm not really good at reading cards. But if the way that I worded it or read the words of it is that it worked like Necros, but money is the thing. I'll dig a little deeper and I'll probably put a reason down below in the description. But pre-preparation of RItes allows you to search the Reorigin and the Vendread Slayer to your hand, so you know it's free cards. And then preparation of RItes, since Revendread Slayer is a level 6, and if we have Origin in our graveyard, it's free as well. Some other great cards that we can use to play is the cards that I've been talking about this entire time. Since the Vendread strategy relies so heavily, or the ritual spell card we have relies so heavily on banishing zombies, especially since the Revendread Slayer ritual monster allows on banishing zombies, the Shiranui archetype is extremely good in here. With Spirit Master being able to destroy face-up cards, Solitaire being able to special summon those monsters, or those Shiranui monsters you banish, Smith, okay, it makes your zombies indestructible by battle. That's not that great. And then Samurai being able to recurse any of your Shiranui monsters, being able to load your graveyard with Shiranui monsters, then banish them to gain additional effects is pretty good. Not to mention, Shiranui style synthesis allows you to target one of your zombie monsters with 0 defense and return it to the graveyard, or target one monster with 0 defense and special summon it. And it just so happens that Revendread Slayer happens to be a 0 defense monster that can be recursible. So those cards seem to be pretty decent. You can also pair it with the fact that Shiranui Solitaire, when banished, if Shiranui style synthesis on the field, special summons 2 Shiranui monsters as opposed to 1. Those are some really good cards to work with it. Obviously, something that I forgot to mention in the other video was Mizuki. Mizuki allows you to special summon your zombie monsters from the graveyard. So if you guys do want to go the route of trying to special summon Vendread Hoardhound and special summon the Vendread or Revendread Reorg, whatever that monster is called, Vendread Revenants, my apologies, you can use Mizuki to bring them to your side of the field. And also Gozuki allows you to fill your graveyard with targets such as your Shiranui monsters to banish with Vendread Slayer. Another great card, since we're playing, if you were to play the Shiranui archetype, is Unizombie. Now, Unizombie allows you to load your graveyard with those Shiranui monsters and Gozuki and Mizuki, so that's all fine and dandy. Another card I want to talk about, or I want to go back to, is Gozuki, because again, if we are trying to special summon those Vendread monsters from our hand to our side of the field, Gozuki does a pretty good job at special summoning them without you necessarily have to waste much. In theory, Gozuki can banish a Shiranui monster, special summon a Vendread monster from your hand, allowing you to either gain the effect of the Shiranui monster and giving you a Vendread monster to tribute off with your Reorigin. So Gozuki seems to be a really good card in here. Zombie Master also does a really good job of recursing those Vendread monsters to your side of the field if you choose to go that route. So with all that being said, you guys do have a plethora of options to recurse those Vendread monsters. But in my personal opinion, if Hoardhound isn't recursing itself, I want to banish Shiranui monsters. Now, how do we get those cards to the graveyard? Well, you can run the Lightsworn engine if it is your cup of tea. Felice, Wolf, Raiden, and Lila. Personally, I think that if you were going to run Lightsworns, I'd probably just run Raiden unless you found the room for Raiden plus other cards. But Raiden is a star mainly because it's a level 4 tuner, so it gives you more synchro access to Cypher and Lord Omega, and it allows you to send cards from your deck to your graveyard. Something that, as long as you're not sending the Revendread Origin from your deck to your graveyard, you're doing pretty much okay. So the Lightsworn engine is very good with the deck. That's pretty much it. I hope I explained it a lot better. These last 4 cards I can talk about is Shoten Doji, allows you to banish cards and draw cards. I really like this card with Shiranui. Beast of the Pharaoh has some really nice plays with the synchro aspect. Plague Spreader Zombie, it's a synchro, or it's a tuner for synchro plays. And Goblin Zombie searches just about everything in the deck. But ultimately, I would not say that Vendreads are a competitive deck right now. It is it is definitely a ritual based deck, and once we get more ritual cards to be searched for preparation of rites, we can start switching more towards a pure Vendread strategy. But as of right now, I think Vendread Shiranui or Vendread Shiranui Lightsworn or 60 card Vendread will be the perfect way to go. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe. I actually want to say one more thing. We will be streaming on YouTube this Friday at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, so I really hope to see you there. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and most of all, enjoy.